Hi teachers, this is your screencast about setting up and starting to use Newsela in your classrooms. So some of you have already had this training, some of you have already set up your classes, but this is a way to have everything all in one place, so whenever you have questions about setting things up, you can come here, and hopefully by the end of the week we can all be using Newsela for ELA in the classroom. So I'm basically just going to walk through this page on the Teacher Tech Tools website. You'll see that it's here under online programs. Newsela is right here. And as soon as I'm done with this screencast, it will be at the top of this page, so you can always come back to it. So let's start with the basics. For you to log into Newsela, you're going to need to create an account. If you're a returning teacher and you already have an account, it should automatically convert over to our Pro account. Last year we were just using the free version. This year we're using the paid Pro version. But if you're a returning teacher, just sign in and it should transfer over. If it doesn't, please let me know. The rest of you, you'll just click on this link and it will bring you to a page to sign up. I'm not sure why this brought me to step 2, so I'm just going to go back to this page, which is where it should bring you. You'll obviously choose I'm faculty or staff. You'll put in our zip code, which is 95122, and you should be able to find our school, whichever one you belong to, and then fill in this basic information. So I have already done that for myself, so I'm just going to sign in. Every time that you come after you've set up your account, it will take you just to a screen like this where you can sign in. So I'll do that quickly. So now that you have an account and you have signed in, you set up your classes. So I've already set up one class that I'm calling Test. I'm going to make another just to sort of simulate the experience for 7th and 8th grade teachers who have 2 separate ELA classes. So Test 2, I add my class. This sign-up code that it generates right here is extremely important. That is what students need to enter in when they sign up for Newsela so that they are automatically put into your class. So I'm going to show you how that works for students. I'm first going to save this sign-up code. You would just put it on the board or somehow otherwise broadcast it to your students. I'm going to sign out. And as you can see, back on the Teacher Tech Tools page, students will come basically to the same page. Please make sure that they are clicking on this green I'm a student button. We had a problem with this in Ms. McIntyre's class. Students signed up as faculty or as a parent and it got really messy. So please make sure that students are indicating that they are students, because they are in fact students. So they need to click on that green button first, and then they fill this information in. So I'm just going to paste in my sign up code there. They will copy it from the board or however else you have distributed it to them. This is where you need a lot of structure in your student setup. Students need to enter their username, which is their entire email address. So it is very important that you are watching this happen and that you are instructing students to put in their entire email address, to spell it correctly, Alpha Public Schools, not school, .org, not .com, all of those things that we've talked about in the past. So I'm going to say that I'm test student. I'm going to need to put 2 because I've already done a test student at alphapublicschools.org. Please make sure that your students are putting that in as their username. The point of that is so that all programs have a unified username and password. They'll need to put in their first and last name. I'm going to just put a 2 here because I have another test student. And then for their password, they need to put in their 8-digit birthday. Please structure this so that students are carefully putting in all 8 digits, just like they have for their Google accounts or for any other account except for Excel at Alpha. and then they should be able to sign up. I'm not sure why it won't let me. Maybe I put in my password incorrectly the second time. There we go. And it will redirect them to this page. They'll be like, yay, I'm in Excel. They can click get started. It will take them to this settings page. You will probably want to instruct them to go to their binder, which is where they're going to have assignments from you. Right now it's totally blank because we have not made any assignments yet. I'm going to sign out as the student so I can be signed in as a teacher again. So if you'll give me 1 second to do that so I can show you how to do some other cool stuff. All right, now I'm signed in again as a teacher. So after all your students have signed up, they should show up on your roster in the correct class as long as they put in the correct class code. Now I'm going to show you how to assign articles to your students. So if I go to my binder, this is where all of my data is held. Just FYI, you can look at assignments, classes, or student progress, and there will be a lot of exploring to do there. There will be further training, more screencasts, a lot more information about how to analyze and use this data. But what I want to show you right now is this cool little search bar, search magnifying glass that you're going to use a lot. So let's say that I want to assign an article to my students that's about sports, because I think they would think that was cool. Let's say I teach 6th grade, and let's say I want my students to really work on central idea. That way, the articles will filter according to all those things that I have searched for, and I'll be able to choose an article that I think looks interesting and that my students will enjoy reading and will get something out of. You'll notice this little light bulb. That means that there is a quiz associated with this article. I suggest that every single time you check this box. There are articles that do not have quizzes associated with them. They might be fun to read, but they're not going to give you any data, so they're not very useful. Newsela is working on getting a quiz for every single article, so that is forthcoming. Also, while I'm talking about things that are coming, they're also working on a constructive response feature. So students will have several options. They'll be able to type in a constructive response. There'll be a rubric to be able to self-grade and for you to grade, and lots of cool things coming up, so I'll definitely keep you updated on that. But for now, I would always check this box because the quiz articles are basically the only ones that will be useful as far as data. So let's say I think that this article about knee injuries is interesting, and I want my students to read it and take a quiz on it. So I'm going to click on it, and then right here it will always say for me assign to, and I can choose which class I'd like to assign it to. Maybe I want to assign it to both. That will automatically push that out to every single student in both of those classes. So when they sign in and they click on their binder, it will be there. It will have a little blue dot by it that says it isn't done yet. They'll click on it, they will read the article, they will take a quiz, you will get the data. So when students first log in, their Lexile level is set according to their grade. So you'll see over here that students can adjust which Lexile level they are reading and taking a quiz from. And unfortunately, we don't love this, but they can change this anytime they want. You need to decide how you communicate in your classroom about changing that Lexile level. Maybe you don't want to tell them anything and they won't know that they can change. Maybe you want to tell them that if they take the quiz on a really low Lexile level, you will see that and you'll just make them take it again. So it's not worth their time. But when they first start, it'll be set on just their grade level, Lexile level. If they don't do very well on the quiz, a couple quizzes, it will adjust and they'll start reading on a lower Lexile level. If they kill those quizzes over and over a few times, it will adjust and they will start reading on a higher Lexile level. So the system does automatically adjust, but students can also manually adjust, so just be aware of that. So students will read this article, they will click quiz, they will answer the 4 questions, and you will get that data in your binder, which I will show you later. And these questions will have to do with the standard that you have chosen that goes along with that article, which is pretty cool. So I wanted to show you how you can annotate articles. So again, on the Teacher Tech page, this is all right here. So if you want to just look at the written instructions, they are there. So let's say that I want to ask students a question as they're reading. So maybe I want to ask them what this word means. It's kind of random, but all I have to do is use the cursor, highlight it, and this will pop up. I can write something here. What does this word mean? And I could also change the highlighting color if I really wanted to. Then I click share. Now, anytime a student reads this article on this Lexile level, they will see this question. They will be able to respond to it, and I will see their response. Please note that this because every article is different, it has different text if it is a different Lexile level, this annotation right here will only show up on 940. So maybe I want to go into 820 because I know some of my students are reading on that level, and I want to highlight something else and ask a different question. What does this mean? Okay, and share. So if you do have students reading on different Lexile levels, which you will because the system will adjust based on how they do on quizzes and because you just have different reading levels in your classroom, just keep in mind that the annotations you make are Lexile level dependent. Okay, let's see what else you need to know. Oh, so to see your data, you just go to your binder. And you'll see that I assigned a couple of articles, so you'll see them all here, and you can click on them to get to the article, or just click on the data to expand it. So I can see my 4 different students that are all test students. One of them is awesome apparently, and I can see their progress. So that one, nobody's taken a quiz yet, so I'll show you this one. I can see what grade level they took the test on or the quiz on. I can see their score and when they completed it, and then I can also see their annotations. So if I click there, it should pop up and show me that they wrote in, I don't understand this paragraph. I can reply and tell them what the paragraph means or give them some help. So they also can make annotations in the exact same way that I just showed you you can. You can instruct them that they just highlight it, type something in, click share. So that's what your binder will look like. Again, there will be a lot of information forthcoming about how to interpret this data, how we want to sort of norm that at alpha, what sort of goals we have as far as student performance, and just how to use this in the best way. You'll see that there's class information, student progress, these different tools to help you group students and things like that. Again, much more detail is coming. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to cover. I think I got everything. You might want to ask students to find their own articles and complete a quiz, which is definitely an option. They would do it in the same way, just using this search bar right here. So I'm going to now attach this screencast to this page on your Teacher Tech Tools website. You can always come back to this if you need help. Hopefully this gets you all set up, and there will be a lot more information coming about how to use the data and how to leverage the power of this program in your classrooms. So thanks so much, guys. Have fun using Newsela.